very dangerous. But for me, it's not easy fight and like a funny. But a serious training. For me, it's not.
I think Usyk loses this fight in Egypt.
Oh, shut up, Derek.
Oleksandr Usyk has hinted that Rico Verhoeven appears unusually massive and incredibly strong ahead of their matchup, leading many people to question the dramatic change in his physique and overall power. Although Usyk stops short of making any clear allegations, his comments have fueled intense debate online, with fans beginning to speculate about possible enhancement use because of how overwhelming and unstoppable Rico has looked recently.
For me, it's not new because it's a boxing fight. Yeah. It's a boxing fight. Yeah, Rico, it's a kickboxing fighter, but I think it's a tough guy.
Derek Chisora has made a shocking and highly debated prediction by claiming that Oleksandr Usyk may end up losing this fight, instantly increasing the tension surrounding the event. His straightforward mindset of simply pressure him reflects his belief that Rico Verhoeven's raw strength and intimidating size could ultimately change the outcome. With constant discussion surrounding Rico's enormous build and growing questions about his physical condition, Chisora's remarks have added even more speculation among supporters who now wonder if Usyk is about to face the most dangerous opponent of his career.
So Verhoeven will beat you then, right?
Well, no, mate, yeah, maybe so. But I'm telling you, he might beat you. He's going to beat Usyk.
Really?
Yeah.
How does he do that?
Just hit the guy.
Yeah, no, but it's not that easy. It's you.
Eddie Hearn is strongly emphasizing that Rico Verhoeven should not be underestimated heading into this massive crossover showdown. He points to Rico's world-class kickboxing experience along with the dangerous level of force he brings whenever he throws punches, even beyond traditional boxing competition. The message creates the feeling that Oleksandr Usyk is entering far more than an ordinary contest, facing an athlete who has already mastered elite combat sports and possesses the ability to seriously hurt opponents with one clean strike.
Let's respect Rico enough for what he is. You know, he's a good striker. He's one of the greatest kickboxers of all time. He can punch very hard, physically.
Johnny Nelson has shared details from Oleksandr Usyk's training camp, describing incredibly intense sessions where Usyk is reportedly overwhelming several sparring partners, from larger heavyweights to quicker and more agile fighters. The overall message suggests that Usyk is pushing himself to the absolute limit in preparation for this showdown. Still, many questions remain about whether even this level of relentless training will be enough to deal with Rico Verhoeven's massive frame, explosive strength, and the growing attention surrounding his dramatic physical condition ahead of the fight.
That we've got to be able to pull that out of Usyk. So once he can pull it out, but if he can't, and Usyk gets on a roll. Listen, I'm hearing stuff in Usyk's training camp. Usyk's training, and I mean, he's got 5 big guys. He's got 5 fast guys that he's sparring with, and he's smashing them to the point where it's got to his last week. They're only letting him do 6 rounds. The 5 guys, the 5 heavyweights, that he's mashed.
Peter Fury has spoken highly of Rico Verhoeven, describing him as an exceptional competitor with tremendous confidence heading into this enormous showdown. However, he also points out that no one can say for certain what will happen once the fight actually begins and both fighters start exchanging in the ring. That unpredictability is a huge reason why the contest has captured so much attention, especially as Rico's impressive physique and intimidating appearance continue to dominate discussions before fight night.
You know, the fighter's got to believe in himself, and he does. And I can see why he believes in himself. Trust me, he's a phenomenal athlete. Phenomenal athlete. How good is he against somebody like Usyk? We won't know until the bell goes. Let's see. As it goes, we'll see.
Rico Verhoeven says he has analyzed Oleksandr Usyk in detail and is convinced that every opponent has vulnerabilities that can eventually be exposed. He further stresses that he does not fight like a conventional boxer, hinting at an awkward and unpredictable approach that may create serious problems for Usyk during the match. This level of belief, along with Rico's impressive physical shape, is continuing to build excitement and growing curiosity about just how dangerous he might become inside a boxing environment.
course, we've watched a lot of footage, and every fighter has his openings and has his weaknesses. So do I. So that's how we approach it, and we just try to show him something different that he hasn't seen before. So, like, I'm not your typical boxer. And
Eddie Hall delivers a surprising take by describing Rico Verhoeven as the most frightening opponent he has ever been around, placing him above several legendary figures from combat sports. He portrays Rico as a highly aggressive and relentless athlete whose kickboxing experience gives him a dangerous and unpredictable edge. These comments have added even more excitement to the conversation surrounding the fight, with many fans questioning whether Rico's incredible strength and non-stop pressure could realistically overpower a world-class boxer like Oleksandr Usyk.
Tyson Fury, Francis Ngannou, Alex Pereira, Conor McGregor, line them all up, right? And say, right, which one would you want to fight the least? Fucking Rico Verhoeven. He is that dangerous of a man. And with the kickboxing, and again, people just don't know this, is kickboxing is like three-minute rounds. The intensity is fucking insane. They are punch, kick, punch, kick, punch, kick. They are just, they're fierce. And if Rico brings that into the boxing,
Johnny Nelson points out that Oleksandr Usyk has already conquered nearly every major challenge in boxing and dominated the division, making this matchup feel driven more by financial opportunity than legacy building. He believes the massive payday options are not as obvious for Usyk when compared to stars such as Tyson Fury or Anthony Joshua, which makes crossover events like this much more appealing from a business perspective. At the same time, this creates added scrutiny because many fans are beginning to wonder whether Usyk is taking the fight for competitive ambition or commercial gain, especially when facing someone as massive and physically intimidating as Rico Verhoeven.
Alexander, what he's done, he's wiped the floor with everybody. He's established himself at the top there. So now you look at him and you'll think financially, will he be in a better position than Tyson Fury? No, not in my opinion. Anthony Joshua? No, not in my opinion. The big money fights aren't out there for him, so he's got to do something. He's got to put himself in a position where he's got to win, because he's proved he's top draw. So in this fight here, I think it creates interest, intrigue. I'm quite sure there's a healthy pay packet at the end of it. This is now business.
Fabio Wardley shares uncertain opinions about the showdown, praising Oleksandr Usyk for everything he has accomplished while also questioning why a kickboxing star like Rico Verhoeven has been given such a major platform in boxing. He openly admits that he does not know enough about Rico's pure boxing ability, yet he still believed Usyk would be competing against a more established heavyweight contender. His comments represent the larger discussion happening throughout the sport, where both fans and professional fighters remain divided between enjoying crossover spectacle fights and preserving the traditional competitive standards at the highest level of boxing.
He's kind of earned the right to do what you want, but I at least expected it to be some sort of active boxer, someone of some... Not to say I don't actually know much about Verhoeven in terms of a kickboxer, of what his quality level is, but what I'm saying is I expected it to be someone of a decent caliber of a professional boxer. But if it's not, then fine. Look, do your thing, do you, and hopefully he returns to actual professional boxing against some of the top elites.
Paul Smith presents a firm viewpoint on fairness in the heavyweight scene, emphasizing that many established fighters are still waiting for their shot, while Rico Verhoeven seems to be quickly elevated into a title-level opportunity. At the same time, he accepts that Oleksandr Usyk has already justified taking less demanding bouts after completely ruling the division. This scenario fuels ongoing debate between preserving the sport's competitive legitimacy and embracing entertainment-focused clashes, leaving audiences split on whether championship stakes should even be linked to crossover fights like this.
A kickboxer for a long time and not really done much in boxing at all to warrant a shot at Oleksandr Usyk when there's a queue so big, and
Indeed,
you know what I mean, and that's the most important thing. The people who are sitting waiting for their shot in line are going to be fuming over this. Some would say, to counter that argument, Usyk's probably earned the right to have an easy.
Simon Jordan analyzes the commercial angle behind this matchup, arguing that crossover bouts of this nature are mainly fueled by revenue potential and worldwide exposure instead of being based purely on sporting merit. He compares this situation to earlier crossover events in boxing history that generated huge financial returns and attracted massive audience interest across different markets. According to his view, this kind of fight fits into a wider trend where entertainment value and global reach often outweigh traditional rankings and competition structure. This has led to growing discussion that Oleksandr Usyk's choice to step in with Rico Verhoeven may not only be about testing himself, but also about taking advantage of a rapidly expanding crossover fight culture in heavyweight combat sports.
little space, and I can see how the monetization vehicle of this works. But Usyk wouldn't be doing this unless there's a reason for it. There must be a motivation behind it. It must be some form of derivative as to what happened between the various disciplines crossing over with Ngannou.
Dave Allen offers a straightforward and candid opinion, recognizing Rico Verhoeven's top-level achievements in kickboxing while stressing that boxing operates under a very different set of skills and demands. He shows respect for Rico's talent and athletic ability, but he strongly feels that jumping directly into a contest against the world's leading heavyweight is an extremely steep and difficult transition. His remarks contribute to the wider discussion forming around the fight, where some acknowledge the danger and physical strength Rico brings, yet others remain doubtful about whether this clash represents a true sporting contest or is primarily designed as a major entertainment spectacle to draw attention and headlines.
Yeah, but I'm not interested in... I like Rico Verhoeven, sparred him, know him, nice fella, very good kickboxer, one of the best of all time, but he's not a boxer. If he wants to fight...
Can he box?
Yeah, he can box, he's a very good boxer, but he shouldn't be boxing the best heavyweight in the world. If he wants to do it as an exhibition, go and do it. I'm not interested in Usyk Verhoeven, just for the simple fact.
Spencer Oliver comes down hard on the idea of Rico Verhoeven being fast-tracked into a world title fight so early in his boxing path, highlighting that he has just a single professional outing on record. He questions the logic behind skipping over a long list of experienced heavyweight challengers who have spent years working their way up the rankings, only for Rico to be placed directly into a clash with Oleksandr Usyk. His reaction echoes a broader concern within boxing circles that established ranking systems and merit-based progression are being overlooked in favor of crossover-style blockbuster events. At the same time, he admits that this controversy inevitably increases public interest, as the debate itself builds curiosity about how Verhoeven will cope when facing elite-level boxing pressure and skill on fight night.
I mean, this kid's had one bout as a professional boxer. You go, so, you know, how can he jump the queue and box Oleksandr Usyk for the WBC title? To me, that doesn't make any sense at all, and I think it makes a mockery, again, of the WBC.
Ade Oladipo offers a more measured and fair assessment, acknowledging the remarkable journey of Rico Verhoeven as he climbed from an emerging prospect to the undisputed ruler of kickboxing. He stresses that Rico should not be seen as a simple striker with limited experience, but rather as a highly skilled, world-class kickboxer who also possesses respectable boxing fundamentals that could give him some level of competitiveness. This viewpoint helps build legitimacy around Rico's involvement in this crossover fight, framing him as a decorated champion in another elite combat discipline rather than an inexperienced outsider stepping into the spotlight. However, Oladipo also draws attention to the crucial uncertainty that still surrounds the matchup, highlighting the difficulty of transferring kickboxing success into pure boxing conditions. Ultimately, he leaves the discussion open-ended, suggesting that while Rico's credentials demand respect, it remains unclear whether his dominance in kickboxing can realistically be converted into victory against an undisputed and technically refined boxing champion like Oleksandr Usyk.